Welcome to Timeless Conversations, a channel where we talk about life and adulting, the ups, the downs, and everything in between.
My name is Aisha.
And my name is Sharon.
My name is Robina. And if you're new here, please click the subscribe button and be a part of the family we are creating here. 300 subscribers, here we come.
Woohoo!
Yes. So today we are going to talk about whether or not we should be friends with the opposite sex. Is it a good idea? Isn't it? Are those relationships, do they work? Do those friendships work? And we want to see how to navigate such friendships today, those opposite sex friendships. I wanted to find out, is it a good idea to be friends with the opposite sex?
Yes, if you ask me, it is. My answer is yes and no. It is because you want to get to know the perspective from a different gender. Because we've been, of course, it's a societal narrative that is wrong, that we are illogical. We act on emotions most of the time. We sometimes are very emotional about certain things, and we don't get to the base facts of certain things. So if you get another gender's perspective, I think it would be nice. But I also say no, where you think that relationship, that friendship might go farther than that.
Okay. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I would say yes. As a Christian, first of all, the Bible, nowhere in the Bible does it say that do not be friends with someone of the opposite sex. And if I'm to look at the example of Jesus, he surrounded himself with, not just the male, but he also had like female, I would call them friends around him. So based on that, I would say it's okay as long as a friendship edifies you and builds you up.
I mean, he actually had multiple female
disciples who were male.
And as long as the friendship edifies you, for me, that's my what? My principle.
You're standing in scripture.
Edifies you.
Yes.
And it's not, should I say, causing someone else to, and is that stumble or feel bad about the friendship. Then there's nothing wrong with being friends with the opposite sex.
Jesus having 12 disciples who were male does not say anything about his selection of gender for friends. Matter of fact, by the way, even at the time of his death, where he actually did resurrect, it were females that were surrounding him. Even at the cross, the ones who remained behind were all female.
You need to have friends for all genders as much as possible.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important to have a holistic set of friends who will give you perspective, like you said, in different terms. Like the male friends will help you with logical reasoning when you actually need it and stuff like that.
I mean, indeed, on the topic of getting like perspectives from different sexes, like the opposite sex, because I remember one of my mentors, my youth pastor, he's male, and I'll say that even in my dating days, he shared with me some really, really good insights on like the male species, and we call it a species, but yeah, he shared some really, really good insights. Like things that I would think are obvious, but for a man, this is,
Thank you, yes.
So I think it's really good to get the male perspective or the female perspective from them, yeah.
In one of my Kunova episodes, which I used to do a lot. Now they know. When we do that episode on Kunova, I'll give my experience. One of my friends told me, the things that you would think are obvious, like those, surprisingly, the things that used to make me Kunova flowers.
Meanwhile, for those who don't know Kunova, it is leaving your husband's house and going back.
Temporarily.
Okay, temporarily, like she said.
Oh, the thrills it comes with. Now, this guy tells me, the things that you talk about. Have you ever had a conversation with your husband? Like, he will be shocked. You take these things as such a big deal when actually they are not. And indeed, by the way, by the time we had these conversations, I got to realize, oh my goodness, how dumb. So it's important you also get that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. That is interesting. But how sometimes these relationships slowly morph into something else. And not because that was the intention at the beginning, but just because that some things the environment is encouraging it to change, right? So how do you know that the relationship is diverting from just merely a friendship into something more intimate, into something more close? How would you tell?
So I think one of the ways that you would know that, the relationship dynamics are changing is if you find yourself thinking more and more about this person, like, I mean, especially if you're, say, maybe dating or in a relationship and you think about this person more than your significant other, then that should cause you to, question where the relationship or friendship is actually heading. Yeah.
I know, because sometimes proximity, like you're always with this person, for some reason you start enjoying their company. So now you want to spend more time with them. Like, you always want to be around them. Every opportunity that you get, you want to jump on it and, spend time with this person. That's also...
That's how you know people are dating at work. You're having lunch, they are sitting together. But now,
why don't you want them to sit
that is how you start dating your friend.
Just out of proximity.
But I think that for proximity, sometimes it's innocent, but you need to look within yourself and know in your heart of hearts that I actually do, like, I'm not getting attracted to this person. Because the line is very thin.
Yes, it is. Before you know it, some lines have been crossed.
Exactly.
I also think one of the ways to see a friendship that is crossing over is when other people are actually noticing it. Sometimes you're all acting innocent. You don't see how lines are getting crossed. But then the people that are surrounding you are able to notice the low-key, the subtle signs, because they cannot be ignored.
But most of these people deny.
Of course they will, but later when it is too loud, they will acknowledge it. Let me tell you, one of the things that is so hard to hide are feelings, especially. I know I say this a lot, but females are not so good with concealing emotions. But also, I don't want us to confine it to females, because I know even a man in love is equally uncontrollable. Like, they will do the most, and it will be hard to say, oh, we are still friends, we have not crossed over, we are just friends. The rest who are out there watching you will see it for you. And when they call it out,
so that's when you'll find this boss who is normally very tough. Suddenly, like, when it comes to this one person,
being a jelly.
So
it becomes so soft, so sweet.
Thank you.
Like, character changes all of a sudden.
This workmate who is always mean has this particular
person they share with.
Like, the signs are always quite visible. Of course, notwithstanding, the people who are actually friends, the ones that are saying friends, might not see it because they might be doing it out of innocence. But the heart wants what it wants.
I shall say that today. She's never that the heart wants it.
Like, I know, because even me, I have my jelly moments. But no, for me, I call it out, especially where it's not supposed to be. So the heart wanting what it wants is not a problem. Only that certain certain lines might be crossed that
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
But also another way that you could know is when you start being jealous when you see them
So
coming to invite someone else, let's go for lunch. Or like when you see them with another, like an opposite sex friend, and you start feeling a certain type of way, is one way that you know that my heart is wanting.
let me tell
It
you,
has changed goalposts.
Yes.
the way I am jealous, miss me with those things. You guys, you know those friendship groups that, you know, like 6 people, and then you have this man, and suddenly all of you are having feelings.
For the same man.
I think that it is one group. These are
With one man.
because it's the one who is available in that group.
Hey, all these ladies in the group with the one man.
Proximity, guys.
Okay, yeah.
Proximity.
Yeah.
This is the same person that you. Anyway, thankfully these days, men who belong in those groups are also.
Also,
Oh gosh.
we didn't hear that.
We didn't. But you know what you said about like proximity? I feel like sometimes, even when something will not really end into a romantic relationship, but because of always being in the same space, it kind of tries to brew up those feelings that, you know, wouldn't really normally be there. So that means if you stepped away, it that, you know, they would actually stop.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's just because of the proximity. If, like, to mitigate that, I think you have to first of all look inward and see that some things are now boiling inside there, and know that if this is something that I do not want to, like, this is a friendship that I do not want to compromise. So now you have to look for mitigation measure or step away if you are probably in a relationship.
By the way,
yeah,
for me, I don't need any warning signs. The moment my husband is uncomfortable with a certain friend, I will cut you without a second thought.
Exactly.
I'll cut you off because, I mean, I have felt to see it for myself.
what if he's uncomfortable with all of them?
No. Of course, he will not be uncomfortable. We are adults here. That is now isolation. He is now being toxic. But if there is this particular person that is uncomfortable with, because you see, like I said, people out there are looking at you. They are observing. For you, you might not be able to see these things. Because, you know, like you're thinking these are innocent kind things that someone is doing. Someone is just being nice. Someone is just, you know, like friendship perks. This is what you're getting from a friend.
Yeah.
But if someone has already seen it as a red flag that something is probably going to go on, something is off, cut.
Just make sure they're not cutting you off all your friends. Because sometimes there are some of these significant others are just tactfully isolating you so that they have you for them only.
To abuse you properly.
Exactly, because that's a very narcissistic tendency.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I think even in relationships, I think it's good to allow your significant other, your partner, to have room for friends that, you know, the opposite sex.
Yes.
But then for you as the person who is having these friends, since we're talking about like how do you know if this is turning into something more, I think if you're in a relationship, one of the ways you would know is if you find that you're not even comfortable enough to introduce this friend of yours to your partner, then that's already like something to show you that, I mean, why aren't you comfortable now to introduce once? I would assume that you cannot introduce all your other friends to him.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you be comfortable to introduce this person?
Because energy doesn't lie. And trust me, the moment your partner, because your partner might not even be considering anything like a relationship with that person. But if this other person actually has feelings for your partner, and your partner brings you guys together to meet, trust me, if that other person has feelings, you will know, because energy doesn't lie. That you will feel it. I don't know. I think we are wired that way. Me, I know. There was let me tell you guys a story. There's this Facebook friend of my husband who was always making it a point. Like, every time he posts his things, she goes there, loves, you know, those not just liking, that she like a heart emoji, plasters it all over. But when he posts me, or when I post and I tag him, she doesn't love. So I was like, so
Not even liking.
Not even liking. As if she, and when now, you know, it's so funny. Remember, you get a notification every time the person that you normally check on posts, When he posts again his things, she comes back. So I was like, you know what? This one must be checked. Kwanza.
So yeah, you communicated.
I have to communicate.
You checked.
I checked. I checked. Because, I mean, like, you know, I just want to believe some of these things are innocent.
Yes.
But others are deliberate. And they must be checked. Because, I mean, anything can happen. Before you know it, a friend is turning into something else.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, because some people, like, sometimes the person, like, for example, your husband probably was innocent. For him, was just a color baby. But this one was tying themselves on her. Yes.
Of course, yeah, but
Sometimes he's innocent, and then there's just someone trying to advance. They know it's good you checked.
Yes, they gotta be checked. I mean, but also that comes from a point of view also knowing that you don't do that. Yeah, because I mean we all have opposite gender friends, right? So all your friends in a relationship must know those boundaries. When you're setting these boundaries, it's healthy for every relationship to have these conversations because you don't want to leave blurry lines here and there. Whenever you leave a blurry line, you give chance to people to take advantage, you know, and you spoil a good thing. So it's crucial. It's actually prudent that everyone knows their boundaries. If it's a friend, how do you relate to me? You know, I don't want a friend who comes and hugs me the same way my husband does. Yeah. No, my friend.
Okay, differentiate for us.
Seriously.
We do the Christian hug.
The Holy Spirit must pass there.
There must be room
for the Holy
fresh
Spirit.
air.
Yes. And besides, by the way, I think I just take this boundary thing a notch higher.
But
Me, I stopped hugging people anyhowly. Serious, because I want to leave that for my husband. There should be something special. Yes.
Lovely.
Because friends come and go, but this is your person. And they should feel that speciality that this is my person. Whatever they do, they don't do with it. Whatever they do with me, they don't do elsewhere. All right? You find people pecking each other in office. What kind of nonsense?
But when you talk about the pecking thing, culture also comes in. Rwanda.
Hey.
Yeah, you can get a
They give holy
shock.
kisses.
No, like that's how they greet. Like,
understandable.
Like
Kati gwa Muganda. Where did you get the pecking from?
you're not from your Rwandan's friends.
Hey. Explain that to your Muganda man. No, seriously. Okay, yeah, could be possible, right? And I'm sure if your partner is also, you know, well versed with culture and what, they will understand that, you know, my person is Lunyarada. If they do that, it's okay. It's in their culture. Actually, even us, where I come from, we greet by hugging. But for me, I learned that there are certain things. I marked the territory that this is for Haji. Only Haji territory, no lane passing for anyone else. So, serious.
Yes.
Because I know these are the you see these gaps that we see as little. These are the very ones that a friend can take advantage of. And you don't want that. You don't want to compromise a friendship.
That's true.
Because that's how you will also lose the friendship anyway.
Most times, by the way, when these relationships start to grow into something else, either you're going to lose the friend, especially if you don't agree to the relationship and yet things are already on fire. Most times you lose the friend. because they are like they were already planning on a life with you together. So usually the friendship doesn't work after that phase, especially if you say no. That's why if you're single, try and evaluate, do you want to be in this relationship? Like, do you want this to graduate to another level? If you don't, that is the time to count your losses, that this friendship is not going to work. Let's just leave it at that. If you want to, then you evaluate and see how is this relationship going to work. You communicate and see how to move into the next steps. Because sometimes the heart wants what it wants.
So clearly, communication is key.
Very much. And I mean, on the point of boundaries, especially if you're dating, and this is a serious relationship, dating, married, then it's very, very important that you set boundaries and you respect the boundaries that you have set. Otherwise, it can go south. But then on communication, yes, it's very important. Like I said, if you can't introduce this person to your significant other, if you're dating, then that means that, something there
Off.
like
Something
totally
off.
So as couples, you need to communicate what is okay for you as a couple and what is not okay for you. There are some people who don't want, there are people to be friends with other people. So communicate what works for you. Otherwise, anything that goes unsaid then will never be like known.
True.
But then also we're saying something about how if you're not careful, it can morph into something. Okay. So remember how you said if you're not careful, something can morph into like something bigger. Even the Bible clearly tells us that do not give the devil a foothold.
Yeah, take it.
And what it means that if the devil holds your foot, then clearly he's going to easily like grab the whole body. So any time that you put yourself in a situation whereby it can become tricky, then so
The same Bible talks of fleeing. No, don't just run.
Joseph ran from Potiphar's wife. If you are married or the other person is married and they're spending way too much time with you, clearly you have to flee. You have to let the relationship go because it might compromise you and then bring a lot of issues.
There's this thing that people normalize lately of people, friends, talking about their partners. Like you're my male friend, and I'm telling you the inadequacies of my partner. Like, what do you expect? It's totally wrong, and that is how people are shown roles that are not theirs. Before you know it, you're telling this man, I'm not getting flowers. Before you know it, the flowers are coming.
I know, and he's taking advantage of the inadequacies.
Yes. So it's important that while you're engaging the chit-chat and what, you make sure that your relationship issues, whatever is going on, you don't discuss at all.
Absolutely.
Like keep it friendship.
yes.
Do not. This is not your therapeutic partner. Yeah, you're not looking for a counselor, are you?
No.
Yeah. So keep it on the low.
Yeah, I really, really agree with you. And generally, if you find yourself in a compromising situation, remember all that we've said. Boundaries. If you are single, evaluate your options. Is this person
But if you're single, you cannot accept.
is this person also single? Do you want to be in a relationship with them? Because sometimes they are not your type, but they are your type in
most
friends.
times.
Most times are not your time.
They are friend zoned.
So you weigh your options.
Yeah.
If you are married, banana flee. Save your marriage. If they are married, also flee. Even if you are single, leave them alone. Because you don't want to be causing someone a heartache. You don't want
And don't put yourself in like compromising spaces. Like how would you be with this person? Like think about the time. Maybe it is like 10 p.m. I'm going to
Even the places also matter.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Hotel
like, why
room.
would you go to your friend's hotel room at 10 p.m.? Like already you're sending mixed signals to this person.
And for you workmates, you don't want to date. You go on field trips, you share hotels, you stay on the same floor. Chichi.
The organization has set an LPO, and
We
they
are
have booked us in
saying
a
do not
hotel.
be put in compromising situations. Like seriously.
Even
Okay.
same floor is not allowed.
If possible, okay, the organization.
You are really jealous.
You guys.
You have to be on the same floor and look out for each other.
Moreover, some people choose rooms across.
I think some things like that are way above your control, because the organization sends you a field trip.
Some of these things are deliberate.
The hotel books you in the
Unless
available rooms.
unless the hotel has booked you in the same hotel. I mean, the organization has booked you in the same hotel.
Which they usually do.
But still,
Fine, I agree. Okay, it has been done, but also organizations do better. What are you exactly promoting?
even if the organization hasn't booked you the same, I think we also shouldn't overthink into things, especially if we're trying to like think into things on people because they have slept on the same floor. Even opposite rooms.
Oh, you are jealous.
You guys, honestly, the things that you could avoid, please do.
That's the bottom line anyway.
It's about
Okay,
knowing
yes,
the
I am
boundaries.
extreme
And
at
Aksha's boundaries don't sleep on the same
Same
floor.
floor.
And as long as it feels like it's not comfortable for you and your partner.
Thank you. Like, where is the respect? But anyway, that is on the extreme, guys.
But also avoid spending too much time together. Like, find something else to do. If you see that the relationship is going another direction, find something else to do and meet this person once in a while.
But some places, my friend, you have limited options. Let me give you an example. When someone that has worked in upcountry places, you'll find this community of people. You stay with them the whole day during work. After work, you still stay together in the same gated community. These are the only people you know. Basically, even if it was to indoor activities, Ludo what, those are the people that you'll be with. So what other options do you have?
I think I know such a place.
In refugee
Yes,
settlement
I did
camps.
some work in Calorinia, that's right. You stay in a closed place. Like, everything is within there. Most organizations even sleep inside there. Intense, moreover. So it's about now you knowing and doing the right thing.
Boundaries.
Because nobody's going to be there to save you.
Like,
I know.
you can't police people. It goes back to principles.
Yeah, exactly.
What you stand for, that you can't like compromise regardless of the situation you're in. I mean, you won't compromise just because this situation has forced you to see this same person every day and
Be in the same
environment. Of course, we've had stories. So really, I honestly don't think that like the environment you have been confined to should influence you to, compromise your principles. I mean, if you have left your family in Kampala and you're in Paloringa, like you said, it shouldn't give you room to now be compromised
sleeping
around just because this person is with you every single day. Then that means your values don't align.
I want it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming this far into this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And please share this in your groups, and also click the subscribe button to be a part of the family that you're creating here. 300 subscribers, here we come. Shout out to HD Media, who shot and produced this episode. But give us the tea in the comment section. Please tell us how you're navigating your opposite sex friendships. Share with us any drama if there is, or
they could be working.
I know. Any tips on how to make them work?
Yes.
And anything else that you think is useful to the community here. Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.